Hello, my name is Arthur, and in the last video we took our entry buffer out of a global scope and we put it into somewhat of a get kind of function, so we could just get the buffer rather than having it global. Now I've done the same thing with the search field, but I haven't done any of the other ones. So I still have other ones to try with. I'll probably leave the itters global, but likely try to move the other ones and see how that goes. But in this video we're going to do some style stuff. We'll note that, yeah, unless I was to do completely the entire app, it would be kind of susceptible to the changing style of my operating system. So I'm in a dark theme. I'll change what I know how to change for now, but it's worth noting that if I change themes, my application wouldn't look quite the same because I'm not able to do all of the things because I don't, it's actually hard to find parameters and things for how to control the buttons entirely, especially my toggle buttons. I don't know how to get those to work, but we'll do what I can do. So one of the things I've done is I've changed the way that the toolbar and the menu bar are getting packed into the VBox. So instead of just using container add, I used pack start so that I could set a 0 padding onto them. I've also changed in add tab the way that the button is getting added into the box. So I've put it onto the end with the label on the front, and I've commented out the address label because it doesn't really need to be put into the label. It's part of the structure, and that's good enough. It's just somewhere to store the address. I still don't know if I even needed to use something like a label. I probably could have got away with using a char, but I didn't want to put a char and then find myself in a position where I had to define its size. But maybe I could have made that a pointer. Possibly, I'm not really sure on that one. So I've given a name to the button, and I've given a name to the label. So we're going to use the tab label in the CSS, and we're going to use the close button, and then we're also going to do close button hover. So in the tab label, what I want to do is I'm going to set the padding on the right side to 15 pixels. So what I'm looking to get out of that is some space between the word and the button. So we'll check on that, and that gets a space so that the word isn't banged up against the button. On the button, we're going to do a bunch of things. We're going to put padding to 0 pixels. And that's going to shrink the button and the tab, because the button is holding the size of the tab. Then we're going to go border, 0 pixels, and make it so it has no border. Then we're going to go border radius, we'll set that at 12 pixels. And then we're going to give it a background color. And I didn't intend to do that. So I have my GIMP program open. So where I'm going to get my border color from is I'm going to pick this color. I'm going to leave it in red. I'm going to try to keep it at the same darkness level-ish and just pull it a little bit red. Maybe a little bit darker. Let's try that again. Maybe there's a better way to pull some red into that. That's not what I was looking for at all. Yeah, I don't really know how to do that quite the way I want it. We'll try something like that. Maybe a bit bright. So let's just have a look at it and see what that gets us. No, that's okay. So in the hover, what we're going to do is we'll just copy background color into hover. So we're going to pull that brighter. Something like that. So we'll copy that out. We'll put that into here. Paste. We'll save that. We'll give it a run. Now when we hover, we get a nice brightened up red. And I'm satisfied with that. That's really shrunk the size of the tab down quite a bit. So the next thing we could change would be something like the text view. So we would give it a background color. And let's grab the color picker. And we'll do something like that. Except we'll pull it into maybe a green. So we'll try something like that. So we'll save that, and we'll see what that looks like. So that's kind of a bit much. Maybe somewhere around there. And this would take some playing around with to come up with something to people's more individual taste. That's not so bad. So we can deal with that. We could do the same thing with an entry. Give it a background color. We don't want to use the exact same color as the text view, but maybe something similar. So maybe a little darker or something like that. So we could try that. So now we got some character down here. I don't really know how to do these two buttons. These ones aren't so difficult, but without being able to do the toggle buttons or like making it so that they can stay on, I can change the color of all of the buttons. We can just go, let's get us some space at the bottom here. We could just go button like this, and changing their color isn't that difficult. So we could do something like that. Lighten that up a little bit. Grab that and copy and go background color. And then we would be button active, I think. Something like that. And let's say we wanted them to go dark. Unfortunately, I don't know how to make these buttons hold their color. And I've tried some other words like toggled. We could check the script, but I don't really think that's going to work either. So where is that? Get case sensitive. Get active. And I think that won't work too. Oh, we gotta stop that and start it. Yeah, it doesn't even acknowledge that as a real word. So when I start playing with the buttons, that doesn't work out so good. So we can leave the entry and let's go up to the toolbar. So we'll do the toolbar. And I'll have to like find some examples for buttons. And maybe I can find how to do the toggle buttons so that they can be toggled on and off. So for the toolbar, I'm going to set the padding to 0 pixels. And the background color, I'm going to pick this color to make my toolbar match my menu bar. Which is the same effect that this software has. So we can just paste that in there. Save that. Give it a run. So now we have a toolbar that's the same color. So let's do our menu buttons, our tool buttons. So toolbar button. Let's do padding. Five pixels. And border radius. Let's try something like 6 pixels. We'll close that. And then we'll go toolbar, button, hover. And we're going to take and give it a background color. Excuse me. And instead of going lighter, we're going to make them go darker. So we'll try around there and see what we get out of that. So maybe a little bit darker, so that shows up more. So maybe something like that. So yeah, that shapes up the appearance a bit. Maybe this color could use a little tweaking. Maybe a little brighter and desaturated some. Maybe something like that. So that is the entry color. And yeah, I'd imagine if I changed my operating system theme that this would not look very good at all. So that looks okay. I can deal with that. Yeah, it would be nice to have better control of the buttons. And perhaps that's a little bit crowded in feeling. Whoa, that was bizarre. I don't know if that showed up on the screen capture or if the screen capture actually caused that. So yeah, that's what I have there, and that's a little bit of styling. I kind of like the way that looks. So that's a few of the things we can do, and I've looked around for parameters and examples for things like this, but a lot of what I find is outdated and appreciated. So yeah, it's kind of one of those things. I guess more people are using something like Glade to do all of this stuff, so doing it manually like this, it's a little bit more difficult to find different words for things. Yeah, it would be nice to find some examples for buttons and perhaps like take control of the entire application. But that's what I can come up with for now, and it's really fairly satisfactory, I think. Perhaps, perhaps a little bit of work on the colors wouldn't wouldn't hurt, but otherwise it's not that bad of an effort. So that's it for this video. In the next video, I'll come back and probably look at some hotkeys so we can get an idea how to get some like view hotkeys going and see how that goes. And until then, I hope this was helpful, and take care.